J.Lo's night was meant to be electric. Jennifer Lopez, radiant in a silver sequined jumpsuit, had just stepped onto the iconic stage of The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon. The audience erupted into cheers as she waved, smiling with the kind of effortless confidence that only decades in the spotlight can earn. She was there to promote both her upcoming romantic drama, Midnight Fire, and her surprise visual album, Rebirth. It was a huge press week for J.Lo, a calculated and long-anticipated media blitz. And where better to cap it than on Fallon's couch? Jimmy greeted her with a hug and a few quick quips. Their banter started off warm, filled with inside jokes about their previous collaborations and nostalgic nods to her early career. "Jenny from the block still owns the block, huh?" Jimmy teased, prompting laughter from the crowd and a playful eye roll from Jennifer. They played a brief game, something about guessing movie titles from emoji clues, and the crowd ate it up. Everything was on track, the usual late-night rhythm of laughs, applause, and charming promotion. Then it happened. As they transitioned to a sit-down interview, Fallon flipped to a note card and grinned in that mischievous, Fallon way that usually signaled something cheeky was coming. Jennifer, sipping from her Tonight Show mug, didn't flinch, not yet. "So, Jen," Jimmy said with a smirk, "this movie is about a woman trying to find true love, right? Must have been easy for you to relate. I mean, what is that, engagement number 6? 7, I've honestly lost count." The laughter that followed was awkward, forced, delayed. The camera cut to Jennifer's face just in time to catch her expression shift. The corners of her mouth stayed lifted, but the sparkle in her eyes disappeared. She tilted her head slightly, setting her mug down on the table beside her. "Wow," she said softly, almost beneath the audience's chuckles. "That's where we're going." Jimmy chuckled, trying to move past it. "Come on, Jen, I'm just messing with you. It's all love." Jennifer sat up straighter in her seat. "See, that's the problem. You think it's love, you think it's cute, but let me ask you something, Jimmy, would you make the same joke if I were a man with a long relationship history? Or would you be calling me experienced and worldly?" The audience let out a low, "Ooh." Jimmy shifted in his seat. Okay, maybe that was a cheap shot. I was just going for a laugh. But at my expense," she replied. "I came here to talk about my work. I spent 2 years making this film and writing that album. 2 years of blood, sweat, and heartbreak. And this is what we're focusing on." The tension was thick. Fallon, visibly sweating, attempted to recover. "I mean, your work is incredible, no doubt. I just thought, you know, people enjoy the personal stuff, too." Jennifer shook her head slowly. "No, they enjoy respect. And if this is what your version of an interview looks like, maybe I'm in the wrong room." For a brief moment, everyone assumed it was a dramatic setup for a joke, one of those viral sketches that Fallon was known for. But then Jennifer calmly reached down, unclipped her lapel mic, and stood up. "I don't have time for this," she said, her voice steady but tight. She walked off the stage in real time, heels clicking across the polished floor. The audience was stunned. There were no laughs, no applause, just stunned silence as the camera awkwardly cut to Jimmy, who sat frozen, blinking. It took a moment for production to react. Stagehands gestured frantically off camera. The director whispered into Jimmy's earpiece. He forced an uneasy chuckle. "We'll be right back after this." Cut to commercial. Backstage, Lopez's team was already packing up. She didn't look back. She didn't cry. She didn't yell. She just left. Within minutes, the moment exploded online. Clips of the walkout circulated on Twitter and TikTok, while hashtags like #JLoDeservesRespect and #FallonFail began trending globally. Fans were polarized. Some applauded Jennifer for standing up against a sexist dig, while others accused her of being too sensitive on a comedy show. But one thing was clear, the night hadn't gone as planned. Jennifer Lopez had walked out on Jimmy Fallon. And everyone, everywhere, was talking about it. The studio remained in stunned silence for several long seconds after Jennifer Lopez walked off the set. The cameras had cut to commercial, but in the control room, producers were scrambling. No one had anticipated this. It wasn't a skit, it wasn't scripted, and it wasn't a PR stunt. Jennifer had really walked out, and on live television no less. Backstage, J.Lo moved swiftly through the hallways, her team trailing behind her. She didn't say much. She didn't need to. Her face was calm, but her eyes were blazing, not with rage, but with the cool precision of a woman who'd had enough. Decades in the entertainment industry had taught her patience, grace, and how to take a hit. But it had also taught her when to stand up and walk away. She left the building without another word, and within the hour, her publicist released a carefully worded statement. Jennifer Lopez came on The Tonight Show to celebrate her work, her film, her album, her passion. What occurred on stage tonight was not aligned with that purpose. Ms. Lopez stands firmly against reducing women's achievements to their personal lives. She walked out not in anger, but in principle. Social media, as expected, exploded. Clips of the incident went viral within minutes. On TikTok, users debated whether Fallon's joke was harmless fun or a cheap, sexist shot. Twitter became a battleground of think pieces, hashtags, and celebrity responses. Stars like Viola Davis and America Ferrera praised J.Lo's stance. "When you've worked as hard as she has, you don't owe anyone a laugh at your expense," Ferrera tweeted. Meanwhile, Fallon's team was in full crisis mode. Jimmy himself was unusually silent that night. Normally active on social media, posting backstage skits and behind-the-scenes photos, his accounts went dark. In private, he was shaken. Not because Jennifer had walked out, but because he hadn't realized how deeply his words might cut. "I thought we were friends," he told one producer quietly. "I thought she knew it was all in fun." But by the next day, he understood. Jennifer wasn't angry about just one joke. It was years of being the punchline. Years of having her relationships dragged through interviews, while her music, acting, business ventures, and philanthropy were often sidelined. She wasn't walking out on him. She was walking out on a system that, even now, didn't know how to treat women in power without undercutting them with humor. The following night, Fallon returned to his desk looking more serious than viewers were used to. "Last night," he said, "things didn't go as planned. Jennifer Lopez is a dear friend, someone I admire deeply. I made a comment that I thought was lighthearted, but I now understand it came off as disrespectful. I never meant to belittle her or her accomplishments. I'm sorry." The apology was met with mixed responses. Some thought it was sincere, others called it damage control. But Jennifer didn't respond. Instead, she posted a simple video on Instagram, her in the recording booth, headphones on, eyes closed, singing a new track from Rebirth with raw emotion. The caption read only, "Let the work speak." It did. Within 48 hours, pre-orders for her album skyrocketed. Rebirth debuted at number 1 on the Billboard 200, while Midnight Fire was flooded with early ticket sales. Ironically, Fallon's joke, intended as a harmless jab, ended up bringing more attention to the very work he had overlooked. In the days that followed, other female celebrities began speaking out. Taylor Swift posted an Instagram story about interview double standards. Zendaya reposted the J.Lo clip with the caption, "Not a meltdown. A boundary." And conversations shifted. Media outlets published op-eds on how women, especially in entertainment, are often treated differently during interviews. Late-night shows started reassessing their formats. Producers took meetings on guest boundaries. Even Fallon's own writing staff was reportedly told to rework their personal dig material. As for Jennifer, she kept her head down and her schedule tight. She never publicly called for an apology, never milked the moment. She just kept doing what she'd always done, showing up, creating, performing, building her empire. And maybe that was the real story all along. She didn't walk out to make headlines. She walked out because she didn't need to stay.